The Principle of Mentalism, the universe as a thought. Let us begin at the beginning, not with a bang, but with a thought, an idea, a word spoken in the silent language of the source. The ancient Hermetic sages, who gave us the Kybalion, began with a single phrase that contains all others. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This is not a belief to adopt, but a lens to see through. It is the first principle. It states that the fundamental substance of all that is, the stars, the ocean, this body, this feeling, is consciousness itself. Matter is mind at its most dense and dreaming. Energy is mind in motion. We are not in a universe. We exist within the imagination of a vast, intelligent awareness, and we are made of that same imaginative substance. But how can we, trained to trust only the solid and the seen, grasp something so utterly foundational? It helps to learn its native tongue, and the language of the mental universe is not data or dogma, it is metaphor. Think of the most powerful dream ever had. In it, mountains had weight, fear had a taste, and love had a color. Upon waking, there's a knowing it was all a fabrication of one's own mind. Yet, within the dream, it was unquestionably real. The principle of mentalism invites us to consider, what if waking life is of the same nature? This isn't to call life an illusion in the sense of being false, but to recognize its quality. It is an appearance in consciousness. Consider the perplexing double-slit experiment in quantum physics. When scientists fire tiny particles like electrons at a barrier with two slits, they behave bafflingly. If no observation is made of which slit they pass through, they act like waves, creating an interference pattern. But the moment a measurement is made to see the path, they snap into being definite particles. The very act of observation, of measurement, of seeking a single solid story, collapses a fluid field of possibilities into a fixed point of reality. Sir James Jeans, the pioneer physicist, looked at this and other quantum mysteries and famously speculated, the universe begins to look more like a great thought than like a great machine. He was touching, with the language of science, this ancient truth. The machine is a metaphor for separation, cold, dead parts. The thought is a metaphor for unity, seamless, intelligent, and alive. So let's think about this. If what you're listening to right now, if what you can see, if what you can smell, this air you're breathing, is only there because we are observing it, because we are here to measure it. So let me ask you, if a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to see it, does it make any noise? Just as a novelist creates a world from imagination, populating it with landscapes, characters, and conflicts, so too does one mind emanate this cosmos. Our individual awareness isn't separate from this. It is a localized point of view within the great story. And here is the secret. We seem to have been granted the creative power of co-author. Our mind isn't a passive recorder of a pre-made world. It is an active participant in the dream's unfolding. So this brings us to the central characters of our journey: the avatar, the I, the ego, and the observer. The avatar is the dreamed character. It is the me that has a name, a history, a collection of preferences and fears. It is an aspect of consciousness that becomes completely lost in the storyline, believing the weather of the mind, the passing thoughts and emotions, is itself. The avatar lives in a state of literalness. It says, this problem is solid. This pain is who I am. This thought is the truth. It is the particle in the experiment insisting on a single definite path. The observer is the fundamental awareness, the silent witness behind the scenes. It is an aspect that can watch a thought of anger arise, feel its heat, and yet not be the anger. It is the one reading these words right now. The observer is the wave function, the vast, open, potential-filled space in which all stories arise and pass away. The entire journey is the observer gently remembering itself within the dream. And here is where it gets practical. One might find themselves asking, if my thoughts are so powerful, where are they coming from? Why is this thought here now? Here is a liberating truth, one that belongs to the observer. We do not need to know. The frantic need to psychoanalyze every mental flicker, to trace each thought to some childhood wound or external cause, is the avatar's game. It is a trap within the dream, a desperate attempt to find a solid why in a fluid field. The observer understands a more profound truth. We are not obligated to engage with or validate every thought that passes through the sky of the mind. It is not only okay not to know their origin, it is a profound freedom, a wonderful who cares. Our power does not lie in controlling the first spontaneous thought. That is like trying to control the first drop of rain in a storm. Our power lies in choosing the second thought, the one we consciously cultivate in response, that wonderful who cares. This is the moment we shift from being a victim of the dream to being its conscious artist. From this place of not knowing, a new desire is naturally born. Let there be different thoughts to reflect a new outcome. This is a sacred impulse of creation, and for this, we are already equipped with 3 precise tools. 1, intention, 2, awareness, and 3, eloquence. Let's now take up these tools and explore their use. Awareness is the primary tool. It is the capacity of the observer to simply notice what is, without immediate judgment or story. When a limiting thought arises, I can't do this. Awareness creates a space. It notices, the old story of not enough is here. It does not fight the thought. It does not believe it. It sees it as a cloud passing in the mental sky. This space is everything. It is the pause between the stimulus and our response. And in that pause lies our freedom and our power to choose. Intention is the compass. It is the clear, calm declaration of the direction we wish to move in. From the space created by awareness, we can now set an intention, not as the avatar's desperate wish for external things, I want that person to love me, but as the observer's choice for an internal state. We declare, let there be a sense of inherent worthiness. Let there be a knowing of oneself as capable. This isn't about rearranging the furniture in the dream. It's changing the very tone and color of the dream itself from the inside out. An eloquence is the artistry. It is a skill with language and metaphor, the craft of composing the new healing thought. The old thought was a blunt, ugly brushstroke. I am broken. Eloquence allows for repainting, using the understanding that the universe is mental and speaks in metaphor. Recraft a new line for the story. I am broken becomes, this being is a complete universe, momentarily focused through a lens of challenge. This experience is not a shattering, but a reorganization of light. Feel the difference. The first statement solidifies a painful false reality. The second uses the language of a living, intelligent cosmos, universe, light, lens, to describe a temporary state within a greater, unbreakable whole. It is an act of poetic self-creation. It is speaking the universe's native tongue. Let's now put this all together in a single, integrative practice. In a quiet space, we can close our eyes for the next few minutes. We are not a person with a past or a problem. We are the silent author of our experience. First, witness the script with awareness. Let attention rest easily on the flow of the mind. Notice the thoughts, the sounds, the sensations in the body. Don't follow them. Don't analyze them. Simply acknowledge their presence. A thought about work, a feeling of restlessness in the legs, the sound of distant traffic. This is us, as the author, reading the current draft of the moment. Second, identify a single brushstroke. Gently bring to mind one recurring, limiting thought or feeling. It might be a whisper of anxiety, maybe a sense of lack, a habitual self-criticism. Observe it with awareness. See it just as one element in the vast narrative. Third, apply intention and eloquence. From our seat as the author, we can decide to edit this line. Set the intention. Let there be a thought that brings a feeling of peace. Now, use eloquence. How can we rewrite that limiting thought as a metaphor that reflects the truth of a mental, fluid, and intelligent universe? There's no need to force it. Let a new phrase rise. Perhaps this anxiety is not a monster, but a misplaced guardian, a wave of energy that can now be gently redirected. Or this feeling of lack is simply a quiet pool reflecting the sky before it remembers it is also the river. Finally, rest as the source. Let all stories, the old draft and the new edit, softly dissolve. Rest back into the awareness that is prior to all thought, the silent source from which both confusion and clarity emerge. This silence is not empty. It is the canvas. It is the blank page. It is the pure potential of the one mind, and it is our truest home. Intention, awareness, and eloquence are the gifts we use to co-create beauty upon it. We now have the master key. All other principles, the correspondence, the vibration, the rhythm, will unfold from this one. From this moment forward, we can perceive the world not as a collection of dead objects, but as a living language. Every tree becomes a metaphor for growth. Every river, a metaphor for flow. Every conflict, a metaphor for an internal polarity, seeking the balance of the observer. The universe is mental. It is a great dreaming thought, and we, the silent observer, are its native speaker, its conscious witness, and with these three tools in hand, its loving co-author, this language can be learned, this artistry can be practiced, this dream awaits our conscience touch.